right. 3, 2, 1. Start recording. Unless you've already been recording. It's perfectly fine.
No, I just did it now.
Okay. All right. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of the Final Checkpoint podcast. This is episode number 64. I almost confused myself because the top of the doc says 63, but the paragraph in here says 64. We're all good. Each week you can catch me and my co-host here to react to some of the latest video game news and talk about games that we are playing. My name is Joel.
And I'm Ben.
Ben, it is the week of Thanksgiving. How are you doing? Are you excited? Do you like Thanksgiving? I want to hear your thoughts about this holiday.
I think last year I bitched about Thanksgiving on the show. Probably the year before that I did as well. There's a video on my YouTube where I say Thanksgiving is stupid or something along those lines. There's a video I made that said I hate Thanksgiving.
Oh.
Years ago.
Okay.
This is not news. So it's not that I hate Thanksgiving. Let me rephrase. I hate that everyone feels like it's, oh, this is the week. Now we get to turkey. Like, you're a fucking adult. You can turkey whenever you want. You can have friends out. Well, maybe not pandemic time, but
yeah,
that excluding. You can have friends over. You can have family over. You can do this whenever you want. Stop thinking it has to be on this day. It's so sacred. The day that we've made up that's largely about killing Native Americans or some bullshit. Like, fucking eat turkey if you want to eat turkey. And don't fetishize it to some ridiculous degree. Everyone's insane. I like football, so that's cool. But besides that,
yeah,
I don't care. And I like football as an idea. I don't really watch football. But
okay, all right.
I like watching football if it's on, but I don't watch football. You know what I mean? Like, I don't pursue it.
Right.
But if someone invited me and was like, yeah, let's watch the game, I'd be like, all right, cool.
Okay, all right. You know, I think turkey's probably like the worst thing about Thanksgiving, isn't it? Do people really like turkey?
People do.
Okay.
I've heard people love it.
I mean, it's okay, but to me it's like the least tastiest thing about the Thanksgiving dinner. I prefer like the ham and like the candied yams and whatever kind of fun stuff. The ham and the yams and the biggity bams. I don't know what else. I'm more of like looking forward to having that day off of work kind of a dude. So that's the only thing I'm looking forward to. And usually my clients all have the next day off as well, which makes me even more excited because that means it's really slow at work, which means just me hanging out, playing my Switch, watching Twitch, and just catching up on work, which always makes the next week even less stressful, especially as we creep closer to the end of the year, which for everybody who doesn't know, I work in payroll, so end of the year stuff always sucks. So that's my reason for liking Thanksgiving. I don't really care about the Black Friday shopping since I don't really do any of it. My wife kind of does all that.
A lot of those deals already went live.
Yeah.
And I bought some stuff. So
As you should. You know, one thing that I saw that I know we won't talk about in the news thing is that I always complain about is Nintendo putting a lot of their first party titles on sale at like a reasonable price. But the one thing I did notice, Mario Tennis Aces.
Yes.
Still not low enough for me to buy.
Yeah, because $20 is the price.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, Breath of the Wild should have been on that list. A launch title from 2017. Still $60.
Sure.
Get out of here with that.
I saw Three Houses was $30 somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's crazy. I don't think I've ever seen a Switch game be $30 from Nintendo.
Yeah. What a gem. If you guys do not know, if you don't know this, if you go back and listen to episode 1 of Final Checkpoint, our first episode was all about Fire Emblem Three Houses. Very in-depth discussion. Spoilers are in that episode, but it is kind of what launched this podcast.
Yeah. That's actually a pretty good episode, too.
Great episode.
for the first episode, like, we're just gonna do this spoiler cast.
It all went downhill after that. Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, it's bad.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, Ben, we've got a lot to talk about this week. A lot of cool news, but I think overall we have one main topic that's probably going to take a good chunk of it. So, what is our topic of the show?
Ooh, I'm not sure which one you're referring to, because I think, to me, the topic of the show is the ginormous Capcom leak, which has a bunch of other stipulations on it too. That's the most exciting, and there's a ton of stuff in there.
Okay.
But the other big story is, of course, the Game Awards 2020 nominations.
Just kidding. I meant 2020, like the booing part was for 2020, not for the Game Awards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Fine. Whatever.
Just clarified that.
Well, we got that. I don't want to go through every award.
Right.
Because I feel like that's what I think is a good idea every year, and then like halfway through it, I'm like, this is the stupidest idea.
Halfway through, I'm like tired and falling asleep.
Like, I don't even fucking care. So I want to go through like 5 of them, basically.
Okay. I mean, I think, what do you think is the most important one? We can save it for last, and then we can kind of maybe go down the list on a couple.
Sure. I think the most important one is obviously Game of the Year to talk about.
Okay.
So if we go backwards, now that I have to do everything backwards for some fucking reason, you decided this.
Just flip it upside down.
The website doesn't flip upside down, Joel.
Oh, just flip the monitor.
Okay. All right, I did that. I'm good.
Okay, cool.
So we'll start with best RPG, which I think is interesting.
Ooh.
And fun and is filled with games we played. So we have Final Fantasy VII Remake, obviously, Genshin Impact, Persona 5 Royale, Wasteland 3, which I downloaded and never touched.
Same.
Sorry, Wasteland 3. And Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Dang.
This is a very stacked category.
It's a really good list. I mean, I don't know how I feel about Persona being on there because, yeah, like, they added more content to it, but, like, to me, I feel like it already had its moment in the sun.
Right. I'd have to look up and see if it won already for this category, because I feel like it probably did.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's tough for that.
This is hard. I know for me, for example, like, to make some arguments here, Genshin Impact is, although I didn't really play a huge amount of it, I know this game is, like, not only in a way revolutionary for the type of game it is, because it's basically a mobile free-to-play gacha game that is way more than what it seems like on the surface.
Yeah.
And I mean, I see people still playing it. I see people putting in hours and hours of it without actually spending money. Like, there's so much more to this game than people actually think. I think if you just kind of put in your first, like I did, I put in maybe like 4 or 5 hours and I was like, okay, I'm kind of good. Like, I don't really see myself playing any more of this. But I know there's so much more to it because I've seen other people play it, and you've talked about it a lot on this podcast as far as like what is there. So I know it's like this huge and different type of RPG than we've seen as far as like the monetization and like the fact that it's a free huge ass RPG. And really the only thing that like is driving the revenue is the gacha portions, which is pretty smart. Pretty smart.
Yeah, well, and that's a whole other separate issue. I don't think Genshin Impact wins this.
Yeah,
no one in games press really plays it. Although I guess this is now up to fan voting a little bit. So yeah, that could sway it. I think this goes to either Persona or Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, which is tough. I mean, I think there's a lot of as much as I love Persona 5, I think it almost gets a lot of that fan like overrated love more for the style and the art. And I mean, how many people that really love Persona 5 actually played it like and are just into it because they're into it or even beat it or anything like that, really? Like I think Final Fantasy VII Remake is was incredible. Like I love that game, and
right.
I think it really blew away expectations.
I think that's why it deserves to win here, and I think that's why it probably will win. Yeah, I think no one expected Final Fantasy VII Remake to be what it ended up being and be that
definitely.
good. It is unfortunate. Wasteland 3, I really want to play. That is likely never going to happen, but I really do want to play it.
Yeah, I clicked into it and played it for like the first 30 minutes. By the time I was already playing some other games, and I just like couldn't really get into it. But from what I had seen, I could tell it was deep, and I could tell it was going to take a lot of time, and it just felt really like, I don't know, hardcore, I guess is the way. Like I felt like it was going to put me through the ringer.
It's one of those games. What was that game I played? I don't remember anymore. But you play it and you're like, oh, I gotta pay attention. What does this do? Oh my god, what is that? Like, there's just like a frantic pace to it.
Yeah. Cool.
And Yakuza's on here, and I'll talk about Yakuza later. But I think it 100% deserves to be on this list. It's not going to win, but I'm happy to see it here, I guess.
Yeah.
We will move on to Best Action Adventure.
Why is it so hard to find these categories on here?
Well, you're the one who want to do them backwards.
I know.
So, joke's on you.
There it is. It's just, it doesn't fit on the little square that they put them in.
Okay. The nominees being Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Ori. You're like, I just start making up names for things. Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and The Last of Us Part 2. I don't know why The Last of Us Part 2 is an action-adventure game. I guess it is, but whatever. Mm-hmm. I know people are really like, Jedi Fallen Order got robbed for last year, and because of the timing of the awards, which I do want to talk about after this.
Yeah.
But I don't think that game's that amazing. The game's like an 8. You guys need to relax.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see it here. This is a category I'm fine with it being here. To me, this is Valhalla by a mile.
Really?
Oh, but like 1000%. Because in terms of like, to me, Last of Us Part 2 is a survival horror game or a third-person shooter.
Yeah.
It is not an action-adventure game.
I was thinking more, it was going to be between Valhalla and Ghost of Tsushima.
That's what the votes will probably be torn between. I think Valhalla is way better than Tsushima.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And we'll talk about that more, I guess. All right, I can bring it up now. Because people talking about how beautiful Ghost was and all that. I'm going through England, and I am stunned constantly at how good this game looks. I'm taking pictures and framing shots. Like, it is stunning. And I think it does not get enough credit for that. And its gameplay, its action gameplay, is more fun to me than Ghost.
Yeah.
Even though Ghost is more, I guess, technically complex as a system, because Valhalla is like easy mode where you're just throwing axes and who cares, but it's a ton of fun, and I enjoy that whole action adventure nature of it. I don't know. To me, it's Valhalla. We'll talk about that more later, but I don't think it'll win.
Do you think Miles Morales will get some sort of like swaying vote towards it for some reason? Like,
I think Ghost wins this. Okay. I think Ghost wins this for sure. Because everyone loves Ghost. And people really like Valhalla, and people really like Miles, and they like all these other things. So I think it will split the vote significantly.
Yeah.
But a lot of people really like Ghost. It's like, what, the fastest selling new IP from Sony ever, or something like that. So yeah, I think it's going to be.
Do you think that Ghost. Valhalla might get some? Do you think people might like bypass it or have some bias against it because it's an Assassin's Creed game and there's like a new one every other year kind of a thing?
100%. 100%.
That's what I figured. But yeah, I mean, I wish I could be playing that right now because I think it looks incredible. I mean, out of all these games, because I've only really played like, I don't know, 4 of them. Although for me, like, I liked Ori and Will of the Wisp, but I just didn't get through much of it after a while.
Mm-hmm.
I beat Jedi Fallen Order. I beat Last of Us Part 2. I beat Ghost of Tsushima. I think for action adventure, I would definitely choose Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah. Next.
Okay.
Meh.
This is best action.
Damn it.
So we I thought you wanted to do it backwards.
I know.
So you did this to yourself. We'll start backwards for fun. Streets of Rage 4, Nioh 2, Half-Life Alyx, Hades, and Doom Eternal.
Ooh, damn.
This is a very interesting list because half these games I don't even feel like are action, but like, is Hades an action? I guess Hades is an action game. Is Doom an action game? I thought I would say it's a shooter. And Streets of Rage 4, like, two games can not be further from each other than Doom Eternal and Streets of Rage 4. Like, what the fuck is going on there?
I mean, yeah, what would you consider Streets of Rage?
Streets of Rage 4 can be an action game. Doom Eternal is an action shooter. Like, that's a shooter. That has a lot of action in it. Is there even best shooter in here? I'm not looking. This website makes my laptop make funny noises.
Yeah, I think
you can look that up. There is?
Oh wait, let me check.
Check and see if there's a best shooter. But this is a stacked category, and a lot of these games are really good. And one of these games is okay.
I think Hades takes this just because of
everyone won't shut up about it.
Yeah, I mean
that's why.
Even me, I love Nioh 2. I love Nioh 2. I can't believe I'm saying that because of how much that game kicks my ass. But like, I just think it's Hades. Just I don't know. And I stopped playing it once I beat the first run. But the characters, the gameplay, there's just something about it that I just really, really loved. And I still want to go back and play more of it, but I want to get to other games. But I constantly think about, I was talking to one of my friends, just started playing it, and he was like telling me what run he's like, oh, I just got to the third boss, and I'm using this. I was like, oh man, like he told me he doesn't like the bow, and I'm like, oh, just wait till you get Doom on it, and then you get and then as you're dashing and you got the what is it, the shield, and you reflect back
or whatever.
I was like, oh man, and then I just started going through it in my head again, how much I love the gameplay, and I was like, oh shit, that game's so good.
I just wish Hades was a co-op game, or like this would work as a MOBA really well. Like as a PvE MOBA, it'd be super fun. I just don't like the structure of the game necessarily, but whatever.
So I do not see a shooter category, so maybe that's why it is.
That makes sense.
Combined.
It does say this is based primarily on combat, or focused, whatever. Which is weird because I love Half-Life Alyx. I would not describe that as a game focused primarily on combat.
Yeah.
I guess, I mean, there is a lot of combat. That's a survival horror game. Like, I don't think people understand how half that game is a Resident Evil game. And it's like dark, and you get a flashlight, and you're just in the dark. Oh my god, I need to replay that game. I set it up on my computer so I can do the wireless streaming from my PC to the Oculus.
Oh, nice.
The Oculus Quest, right?
Yeah.
And I tested it out, and it works extremely well. So I can be untethered playing this game. Oof.
You might fly out the window at this point.
It's going to be great. Oh, yeah. I hope I don't dive out of a window.
Yeah, that would not be good.
Yeah. I do agree. Hades will probably win this. I do want to shout out Doom Eternal, which is incredibly good. And if you want to talk about best action on a game focused on combat, that's Doom Eternal. 1000%.
Yeah.
But I do think Hades will win just because stuff like Nioh and Half-Life and Doom will split the vote, and then everyone else who's into Hades will just whoop right in. Streets of Rage 4 has no chance of winning this.
Yeah, I just don't think it just does not stand a chance.
That's the one that like accidentally got in there and is like, oh cool, we're happy to be nominated.
It got in there for like the old guys that grew up with Streets of Rage.
Yeah,
which I
will say,
I guess I would be in that category, but I didn't grow up playing. Like, I did not get into Streets of Rage very much. I just wasn't into those types of games.
No, and Streets of Rage 4 is fine. Like, it's not. Fine. It's not to be like, this game sucks, but...
Yeah, it doesn't suck. I just don't think it's, like, award levels.
No.
I don't know if I'd stack it up to get an award.
No, it was one of the things like, oh, it's on Game Pass. I played it for 2 hours and I never played it again.
Like, I see it up there with, like, Battletoads, the one that came out this year as well. Like,
which I did the same thing. Yeah. Same exact thing. We are moving on to Best Game Direction.
Okay.
Which is Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Half-Life Alyx, and The Last of Us Part 2.
Oh my god. See, that should almost be Game of the Year, like, the nominations right there.
This should be the Game of the Year nominees, honestly. And that's kind of why I brought this category up. Except for Hades. I don't think Hades, to me, is a Game of the Year. I'm not even considering it in my top 10. I'll put it that way. I'm not even thinking about it. It's really good and it deserves something, but no. This is a tough category and I couldn't even begin to guess. I would just probably say Last of Us wins. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
it's
that's yeah, I would say Last of Us probably gets it. I think because of what they did with The Last of Us Part 2, I would say that for game direction, I mean, if the whole point of that is to, like, you know, to take a game and surprise and innovate on its, you know, what you would be thinking it was going to be about, you know, like, I believe that this game is going to be this and it's going to play this way, and then you get it and it not only does it play differently but better than you would have thought it would, and then it plays out story-wise differently than you thought it would. Like, I think and I think Final Fantasy VII Remake would, for me at least, be next on that list. I haven't played Half-Life Alyx, so I can't really speak for it, but because of what they did with the story in that game, really surprised me too.
Well, and in terms of, like, best game direction, the execution of that game is near flawless, and that needs to be lauded somewhere.
Somewhere in a parallel universe, there is a Joel that has time to replay some of these games.
Right.
And I love that guy. And he feels bad for me.
The only reason I'm going to replay Half-Life Alyx is because it's like 10 hours. Like, I could do this over a couple weeks.
Exactly.
I do want to shout out Alyx just because I was thinking about it the other day when these nominees came out, and I started thinking about the ending. And, like, the whole ending, not only the level before the ending, but the ending itself. And months later, like 6 months later, I still get chills thinking about the ending. It is that good as a Half-Life fan. Like, they nailed it. They really nailed it in such a way that I don't think people realize what they accomplished. Unless you've played it, like, unless you're in that Half-Life universe and love it, you don't realize what feat they accomplished having a sequel to a 12-year-old game, basically. I guess another entry from a series that hasn't seen an entry in 12 years. Because I don't want to spoil the ending. Like, it's so good. And if you want to play Alyx and you're like, oh yeah, I played Half-Life 2 and I liked it and whatever, I'll play Alyx. Play through Half-Life 2 again, play through both the episodes, and then play Alyx. And you will thank me at the very end. You will thank me for having done that. It pays off. And Half-Life 2 really holds up.
Remember to thank Ben when you do that.
Remember.
Or else you're ungrateful.
That's fine.
All right.
You'll know in your heart that you're wrong.
Yep.
I think Ghost also, it's nice for them to get a nom here. They did a very good job with that game. Even if I didn't love everything about it, I can see the craftsmanship of it.
It took me a while to love Ghost of Tsushima. It's still, I did end up really loving that game. But it took so long. It took a long time before it really clicked for me, and I think it just, something about the combat just didn't click, and I think seeing what they did with the multiplayer essentially, or the co-op. I think maybe that's why, because it was meant for more people to kind of be together playing along, and that's why some of the combat just kind of felt frustrating at first, especially especially early on when you didn't have as many abilities or options.
It was weird for that game to not. I mean, you hear stories of people who played it and played 15 hours of it and then did the one story mission that gets you stealth kills. It's like, but why would you do that? Like, why would you let people even play the game that way? It's so weird.
Yeah.
And you'd be getting mechanics like that. What was it? The ghost stance or whatever the rage mode thing was.
It's so overpowered at that point.
Yeah, and it's really cool, and it's a fun mechanic.
It is
and
cool.
We're gonna give this to you 20 hours into the game.
Yeah.
Like, it happens at a cool story moment. I think that game, it should have been linear until you got to Act 2.
Oh.
Like all the story missions just kept going together, and it was in that same open world.
Yeah.
But it didn't let you explore it until you got to Act 2, and you like saved your uncle. Spoilers. Or do you? And then it lets you loose, and you kind of can go back, and because then you have all the abilities, you'd understand everything with it. There was another open world game that kind of did something like that, and I really liked that. Or even Valhalla does something similar, where it gives you this area that you can dick around in, and then the game starts in England. Like, you're in Norway for the first bit.
Yeah.
And it's a tutorial area for you to get acclimated. Ghost just throws you in, and you can be doing whatever you want, and it's probably ill-conceived, unfortunately, for you to be doing that stuff.
I was tempted to reinstall it and try the multiplayer, but I played a different game instead. And I was just like, I did not want to get back into Ghost of Tsushima, so I just didn't do it. But it looked cool.
Let's go to the final one. Game of the Year.
Game of the Year.
All the usual suspects pretty much here. Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost again, Hades again, Animal Crossing, and The Last of Us Part 2.
Now, some would argue that Doom does not belong on this list.
I would argue Hades and Animal Crossing do not belong on this list.
Now, if you were to put those in order of which one doesn't belong the most, which one would you put?
Animal Crossing.
You son of a bitch.
There's too many problems with Animal Crossing.
I think it just looks so out of place. You got these super dramatic screenshots or covers on here, and then you get to Animal Crossing, and there's these dopey looking characters.
Like, we're cute.
Right in between Hades and
Last of Us. Yeah, it's funny.
Which is so funny. You know, I think Animal Crossing, I don't think it's Game of the Year material. Is it the game that saved many people from going insane during the pandemic?
Sure.
Yes. Is it a game that I still routinely play? Yes. I don't think it's nearly good enough to win a Game of the Year award.
No.
There's still so much wrong with it.
Yes, there's so much. The thing about Animal Crossing, is it Game of the Year in terms of, wow, that sure was the game of 2020, as opposed to the best game of the year? Yes, it's not the best game of the year, but it probably is the game of 2020. Like, this game defines 2020. That does not mean it's a good game. That does not mean it's the best game of the year. It's just the game of the zeitgeist.
It feels like, to me, Animal Crossing almost represents the beginning of the pandemic. I feel like it really defined the first maybe couple months.
2 months, 3 months.
Yeah, because it was before Last of Us Part 2 came out, and then we got Ghost of Tsushima, and then it feels like in between that time it was a roller coaster of just games, really, and just mostly like the biggest topics during that time was Last of Us Part 2 and how everyone felt about the game and all that. And then, you know, not too long after, we got Ghost of Tsushima, and then, you know, Hades came along, and then it was the new console stuff, and then Cyberpunk getting constantly delayed. That's what 2020 felt like for me. Like first part, Final Fantasy VII Remake, then Animal Crossing saved us from coronavirus. and then Last of Us Part 2, and then Ghost of Tsushima, and then Hades. It was so weird. I definitely feel, to me, like if I were to plug like, take out one of these titles and plug in Half-Life Alyx, I think I would have probably taken out Doom Eternal and put in Half-Life Alyx.
Okay.
If I were to pick one, just because from what I've heard of Doom Eternal, I think people hold Doom 2016 a lot higher in regards to...
Those people are fucking wrong.
Which, this is just like from what I've heard like through podcasts, and that's really the only experience I've had with this game. I could download it and play it on Game Pass. I just
that's
haven't.
true.
I just haven't. And it's a weird realization that I've come to really find, is that I find first person shooters boring.
I want you to download this game. I don't want you to beat it. I want you to play like 2-3 levels.
I'll do it just for you, because I'll tell you what, I've had a hell of a time trying to play through Halo.
Like, those are different things.
Yeah, and trying to play through Titanfall 2, and I just can't. I just get so fucking bored. But I have no problem with like third-person shooter games. Like, I love Gears, I loved Uncharted, and like games like Last of Us. Those types of, if there's more of a story connection and it's a third-person shooter, like, and I think that's also why like I really loved The Division and Division 2. And like I feel like those games don't bore me as much, where the more I played Titanfall 2, the more I played Halo, like the sleepier and more bored I got. And
we're talking about Halo 1?
No, any Halo.
Any Halo I've tried to play.
Okay. Any Halo I've tried to play, and that's why I consider Halo boring. But
I'm not going to argue against it.
And it's just this weird like feeling. Like, I was sitting there playing Titanfall 2, and I'm like, this game is supposed to be really good, and I can see, parts of it, like when I'm in the
Did you do the factory?
Dude, I beat like the first couple missions, like where you beat the guy, I forgot his name.
It doesn't matter.
This guy's Zane.
Sure, Billy Zane.
Billy Zane, sure. But once I was done, and I was like, oh yeah, cool, that was pretty fun. And then I just sat there and I was like, I don't want to play anymore.
Yeah, like, I'm done.
These games don't do it for me.
Interesting.
I'll try Doom Eternal, because I did enjoy Doom 2016, and I did enjoy Wolfenstein.
Okay, so here's what I'll say about Doom Eternal. It does have more of a story thing. I don't think the story is very good, but it does have cinematic presentation. And I think the pacing of the combat is incredibly well done, where it doesn't feel like these encounters are super long. They feel appropriate in terms of difficulty. You're not going to get to the annoying stuff if you'd only play an hour and a half. It's so good. It's one of those games like Sekiro, where I think the combat is so well designed. Mm-hmm. They deserve accolades just for that, like just how well designed the combat is. The same is true of Doom Eternal, where when you're chainsawing guys and then putting them on fire, and then changing them that weapon, changing this weapon, upgrade that weapon to this so I can do this ability, and it's all spiraling out of control at lightning fast speeds. Now, granted, I was playing on PC, so
yeah. I mean, I'll play it on beautiful. I'll play it on the Xbox, and I'll stream it maybe, just to kind of like commit myself to playing it, Because if I download it and I don't stream it, I'm not gonna play it. It'll sit there on a Game Pass screen and just never get played.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely play it. You got to get to like, I keep hitting my microphone. You got to play a little bit of it just so we can have this Game of the Year nonsense. I think, because out of that you'd have played all of them, all these Game of the Year noms, except for that one.
Yeah, I guess
I
so.
would. Yeah. I'd be more upset that Alyx isn't in here, but I understand that no one has VR and no one played it. So I'm like, fine.
So I've been looking at like, obviously a lot of PC builds and stuff like that. And that's one thing that I'm very much considering, is having it, capable of VR. And, in my head, I'm like, I want to at least have the capability of streaming, or not streaming, of playing VR on my PC. Although like, I don't know how much into VR, but that's like one of the main reasons why I would want to consider getting VR is for Half-Life Alyx, and then, but like, the thing that always scares me about investing into VR, because I've already done it with the PSVR, is like, is that a dead end for like certain games? Like, are we ever gonna see more Half-Life Alyx? Like, are we gonna see more games take that route of just giving you such a good story and like
there's other
game and
great
everything?
VR games.
Yeah, but it's just,
I understand.
yeah,
I understand. I'm just an idiot. That's why I have all this garbage. I just have problems.
It's not garbage though. Like, I think I trust me, if I had like the means, I would get all the stuff. I would.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
gotta
wish
maneuver carefully here on
I
what
I wish I wish like all these games didn't come out for a while so I could play VR. So I could really dive into it because I
Yeah.
want to. I got the Oculus Quest 2 because I'm gonna give my dad my old Quest. And I've barely used it because it's just like, oh, this cool thing's out. This cool thing's out. This cool. When am I gonna play this thing? So that's the thing that sucks about VR, and I can't play VR games for very long. And like what happened with Alex, my eye exploded in the middle of it. So.
Yeah, I remember
Which
that.
was awful. I'm so glad I took those days off so that I didn't have to go into work with this eye.
Yeah.
It was all red. The last thing with Game of the Year, I guess, and we'll predict who's going to win. But I don't think Hades would be in any of these awards if it had come out in February. Like if Hades had released in February and everyone was super into it, people would have forgotten by now for a lot of these. Maybe it still would have been nominated for a lot of these things, but I think we would have not held it to this regard. I don't know. That's my conspiracy theory with it.
I guess I could see that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I constantly see people talking about it all the time.
But that's because it just came out.
No, but even people that I know have played it and have beaten it, like, continue to play it and get through more runs and more runs of it and post their runs, and like, I don't know. I mean, you're right. I could see that happening because I feel like
there is some recency bias. Oh, and I did want to mention Valhalla should be on this list also. Like, it should be in Game of the Year consideration. I think if any game got robbed from this year, it's that Valhalla won't be available next year and no one got to play it before like these nominations really happened. That game deserves a lot of awards. And I think it should be on this Game of the Year category.
I think those games are now being damaged by the Assassin's Creed title.
They are.
Yeah. Those games have evolved so much from being Assassin's Creed that they should have spun them off into something different, and because I do see that it's hurting them, really.
For sure.
You think Assassin's
let's
Creed?
Get off the Game of the Year.
Yeah.
But who do you think is gonna win?
Last of Us Part 2.
I agree.
I think they're gonna win, and I fully believe they should.
I think I agree with that. I think Ghost could win.
Woo! Yeah.
Because I think Hades and Animal Crossing are gonna really fuck with the vote, and that kind of leads and Final Fantasy.
It's just such a tough year.
It's a tough year, and I will say Sekiro won last year. I'm very happy about that still.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah.
Very happy about that. One of the best games ever made. Thank you.
Goodbye. I got chills when you said that. That's weird.
Because it's fucking good.
That was one for us, I feel like. That was one for us.
That was an apology for Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, Bloodborne, all right. Dark Souls 3.
That was for Bloodborne. I don't know about the rest of them.
All right, fine. Bloodborne, also one of the best games of all time.
Yeah.
Can't wait to play that at 60 frames per second. Never.
Yeah, probably. Shall we skip 2 and head to 3?
What? The Dark Souls?
No, for the our list here.
Let's. I'm gonna take one more thing with the Game Awards, and we can mention that number 2 in a sentence.
Okay.
There's been talk of the scheduling of the Game Awards and how the nominee cutoff is at a weird point.
Yeah.
And there's many reasons for this. I do think it's almost negligent when video games for the last 20 years have highlighted November as like the big release time to say, oh, mid-November is the cutoff.
Yeah.
That does not seem right, and I don't see how delaying this award show 2 weeks to like the 15th of December, and getting most of November in the period there for voting. I don't see how that would hurt it. I know there's this kind of publishers want this to be somewhat of an advertisement of, hey, our game's available, you can buy it before the holidays. So I understand that, and I understand why you wouldn't want to push this past the first of the year or the 25th.
Yep.
But cutting out half of the year's big releases, or really not giving them a fair shake because they've been out for a day. In some case, like Valhalla gets screwed over, Jedi Fallen Order got screwed over last year because of this. Like, it's just very strange to disregard the busiest gaming month of the year because you have to do an award show when you do. And I think that needs to be rectified. Other than that, whatever. I'd love it to be like January 1st to December 31st. I'd love it to be that. Like, that's the period. But I understand you can't do an award show in January when all your sponsors want it to be like, buy your stuff for holiday time.
Yeah. That's true.
But I do want to bring that up.
Yeah, I think we always see like at least a few titles feel like they're robbed, and we, you know, as gamers, we're pretty passionate about games and feel like, you know, we have a few horses in the race, and we don't like to see games that we feel deserve more recognition get robbed. So I don't know if maybe it's some logistical thing or contractual thing of
there's a lot.
Yeah, like it's got to be like, listen, Jeff Keighley, we'll let you have these exclusive sneak peek trailers and announcements, and we'll let you mention our titles and show screenshots and all this shit, but it's got to be around here when we can get more sales on our titles, and we got the new console, and like there's got to be so much that goes into it that
right.
it's probably just unfair.
Like I don't think he picked the beginning of December. He wasn't like throwing darts at a calendar. I'm sure there is a big reason for it, and I do think it is sponsors and all of that, because you got to make money doing this somehow.
True. I mean, I hope he would make some sort of money.
I think he's doing fine. I've seen his house on that video of the Crash Bandicoot. I think he's doing fine.
Yep.
Last thing on the Game Awards, there'll be no Halo Infinite. This game's coming out never.
Infinitely never.
That's all we have to say about that. Fall 2021. See ya next year. Okay.
Take your time.
The other big news. This actually happened on Sunday night. I don't know. It happened whenever. There was a giant Capcom leak, but it's not a leak necessarily. They were hacked, and they were given like a ransom note, I guess, of sorts. And Capcom was like, nope, we're not going to do that. We're not going to pay you a bunch of money. So they released their 2021 plans, this group. And then I think like 2 days ago from now, or before now, however time works, and they released their like 4-year plan.
Oh my gosh.
Essentially.
Wow.
So that's why I have this giant list of things which are pretty substantially going to happen, but maybe still not necessarily true. I wouldn't take any of these dates as facts, but
yeah, some of these sound pretty cool, and some of them sound really stupid, to be honest.
I agree. Yeah. So we'll go through them. I have K. They're not numbers, they're letters. So I have K number of items.
Yeah.
What is that, like 11? 17? No, 16. I think 16 is. Oh no, 16 is not F because that's 10 plus 6. It's like 10 things. Okay, the fuck cares? First being, I split these out. So there's a Resident Evil portion at the beginning because I love Resident Evil. Mm-hmm. The oft-rumored and basically confirmed, even before this, Resident Evil 4 remake is targeting Q4 2022.
Oh, so long.
I'm so excited, though. I'm so excited. So very excited. And even more exciting is that RE4 VR port for Oculus, which is allegedly early next year.
Oh, really?
I didn't put that on there, but that's what it said on the little calendar thing. Oh my god.
Would it be off the? It would be the original, obviously. Not the remake.
But oh man, if you get that like teleport movement, because I can't do the other movement, it makes me sick. But teleport movement, oh man, I'm in so fast. I'm there. That sounds incredible.
Yeah.
And if you have to like reload the guns and shit too, okay, yeah, I'll never play another game. Are you kidding me?
Oh gosh,
it's gonna be amazing. There's going to be a Resident Evil 8 demo, which makes sense. There was a demo for 2 and 3 and 7 even had a demo. And release for April 2021. Again, all these release dates are who knows, but rough estimates, right? That's exciting. Also, more Resident Evil for me. There is a Resident Evil Battle Royale / multiplayer codename project thing they're working on.
Yeah.
Which I think was for the end of the year next year. So we'll see what that turns into. I think that could be exciting if it's a battle royale where everyone turns into a zombie and you're in a city. That could be cool. I don't know how much I want to play that exactly, but I'm interested. At least a little bit.
They could do so Apex Legends has like a Halloween event. And that'd be so cool if they did it like that, where you drop in as like what are those umbrella agents, and there's just like
stars.
Crazy looking fucking zombies coming after you. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think what I would do is you have stars, the police force, and then you have umbrella agents, and it's like 2 sides, and then as you die, you become zombies, and you're fighting anyone. And then it's just cool. But also the stars and the umbrella agents are fighting each other, so it's like a 2-on-2, like 50v50, and then as you die, you become zombies, and the zombies are lurking around. That's what I would do.
Oh, yeah.
That's just an idea. You can take that. Fine.
All right, I'm taking it.
Take that. Email capcom@capcom.com.
Yeah, that's their email.
That's their email. Tips and help at capcom.com.
Oh, jeez.
.gmail. We have I combined these two, but a Final Fight and Power Stone remakes.
Power Stone.
Yes,
I'd check out a Power Stone remake. I would check out a Power Stone.
I'd check that out, sure.
Remake. Yes.
Who knows if this is a RE2 style remake or if this is we made a thing and here it is as Power Stone. But that's exciting, I guess, if you're into that.
Yeah.
I think the article I took this from said there hadn't been a Final Fight in like 15 years.
Yeah. It's been a long time.
Like, okay, then. Exciting for me because Dragon's Dogma 1 was incredible.
I love Dragon Dogma. Yeah.
It's so good.
Like, why has it taken them so long to make
I don't know, man. I bought it on PC for like $5 and I intend to go back.
I own it on PS3 as like one of the PS Plus
that's right,
titles
or
whatever. So I can load up my PS3 and it's on there.
No, don't do that.
Save.
Do not do that. So Dragon's Dogma 2 for Q2 2022. A lot of twos.
A lot of twos.
A lot of twos. That's exciting. I really, 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 really want that. This is Mega Man Match. I forgot the H on the document for some reason. These are also, a lot of these are just code names. So
yeah.
It's just whatever.
Could be something totally different than what it sounds
like.
I
mean, this could be a match 3 puzzle game, and it could just be a word they put on it because they don't want to call it 12 or 13 or whatever. Mega Man they're up to at this point. That's Q3 2022. There's a new Onimusha game, allegedly. I'm excited for that as a newfound fan of one Onimusha game.
Yeah.
That's Q4 2022. Monster Hunter 6 is not a surprise. Anyone could have guessed Monster Hunter 6.
Yeah.
Does not, yay, but whatever. Monster Hunter Rise, which is the Switch Monster Hunter that is coming out in, I think, April, was listed as coming to PC in fall of 2021, which is super exciting because fuck the Switch. I am playing on that janky piece of shit. Let's get it in 4K on my PC. Let's go. You get to ride little kitty cat dogs. I'm in.
Yeah, it does look really cool.
It also mentions the Monster Hunter Stories 2, which is another Switch exclusive Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
Might also be coming to PC. So throw that Switch in the trash.
That it would be smart for them to put those on PC. I don't know why. Like they should be working to put those things out. Like I mean, they might have a deal with Nintendo, but like
Right.
it would be smart sales wise to get that out on everything, considering how well Monster Hunter
World did.
Yeah, like it
Yeah.
did so well. Like it'd be crazy not to try to get that. Like who cares what Nintendo wants at this point, because there's a lot more PS4s and PS5s and Xboxes and Xbox Series X's out there. Like
I would assume they paid for this. Like Nintendo paid for exclusivity for 6 months or whatever it is. That's what I would assume. They're also in this, which I didn't get from the article. It released kind of documents how much Sony paid them to have a Resident Evil 7 VR be exclusive for them, which is fascinating because we never get documents like that. I think it was like $5 million or something.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I mean, in a way, it's cool. It's cool to see that. We don't get that information.
Yeah, we rarely ever get those types of like insider deal information.
Yeah. So I would assume these are insider deals, likely based way back, because Monster Hunter's been a DS franchise for a while. I feel like this is residual from that.
Yeah.
And then the final one is Street Fighter 6 for Q3 2022.
Ooh, hopefully it doesn't come out as broken as 5. We'll
see about that. It also mentioned there's gonna be like 3 versions of it, which I don't think anyone's surprised by. That's that's Street Fighter. Yay!
Yay!
And that's the giant Capcom leak. Thank you very much.
Well, that's a whole lot of.
That's a lot.
That's like a whole lot of Ben stuff for sure.
That's a K number of things, as I discussed.
Holy number of Ks.
Oh man, that whole list. I love Capcom. I've been a Capcom fan since the Capcom 5. Oh yeah, Capcom stan over here. So I'm very excited about almost all of this except for Street Fighter.
I really hope that with Monster Hunter 6, if that does come out, obviously.
Well, it will, but yeah.
Right. But you never know with this stuff. That they make improvements based on the feedback from Monster Hunter World, and because Monster Hunter World was already really good, but there's just a few things that would make it even better. And so I just hope that they consider all that when they're making it, because multiplayer was and still is a pain in the ass.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's just odd. It's just weird.
It's very PSP.
Yeah.
It's what it is.
Yeah, I just think they could do better, and but it's still amazing what they did with Monster Hunter World. So good on Capcom.
Agreed.
They really did pull a comeback over the last few years, and so
last 5 years.
This would be such a killer lineup of just like titles and like games to bring out. Although I don't know about the Resident Evil Battle Royale thing, but depends on what they do with it. I mean, every now and then we see something come along that's just kind of like, oh shit, they really did that with the Battle Royale. Okay, cool, I'm in.
Yeah, I think it's worth a shot. I don't think it's going to be successful.
Yeah, it might just kick around for a little bit for Resident Evil fans and then be gone. But,
Right.
It is what it is.
I think you could do that free to play, and then you pay to have, I want to look like Leon.
A bunch of Leons running around.
Yeah, everyone's Leon. That would be awesome. Everyone's Leon.
All right.
And you could have like Tyrant in the city running around. Like, that's what's really cool, is you could have all these monsters fighting you as you're fighting other people. And they're Resident Evil monsters. Like, it's not just like generic zombie. It's actually something. Anyway, that's enough about that. I'm excited that it could be not terrible.
Yeah. Let's hope it's not.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they're on a roll.
Let's hope it's not.
Let's hope it's not.
Okay, final bits of news. Deep into the show.
Very deep into the show.
Project 007 got revealed from IO Interactive. This is the first Bond game in, I feel like, 20 years, but that's not true. It feels like it.
It feels like the first one that has potential to possibly be good.
Yes.
Maybe.
That's true.
Yeah.
I do think Hitman is closer to 007. So that makes sense. Like this teaming, this pairing makes a ton of sense. And I think it's supposed to be like you becoming 007 or something along those lines, right?
Okay. A coming of age story, or
for Bond? No, it's like 12-year-old Bond.
Young man.
He's going to school. No, like you're getting your license to kill, basically.
Okay. Cool.
That's what I understood. I don't know if that was just a tweet I read. Yeah.
Well, I hope you get some sort of like homing briefcase, like in Hitman 2.
God.
Some wacky shit.
I just think with Hitman and how many like costume changes happen in that game, it's very Bond to be like, well, I'm wearing the suit and then I rip it off and now I'm in a scuba gear.
Yeah.
That seems Bondy enough for me.
I'm excited to see what they do with it. I think it's such a great opportunity for a company like IO Interactive that has done so well with Hitman and really kind of like, to like split off and be independent and then keep their IP and be able to continue successfully like building upon it, and then to get this opportunity to work on 007, like a game. It's the last time I think people liked a James Bond game was GoldenEye on 64. So really, like, since then it's been really rough for that.
Yeah.
Really, that I guess just that name. So hopefully they can do something nifty with it. A nifty.
Agreed.
Nifty. Yeah. Moving
on. A little bit of news where the Demon Souls remake from Bluepoint almost had an easy mode, but they got rid of it.
So this
said it would not be the spirit of the game.
Yeah, which this discussion comes around a lot, and about a game, about these Souls-Borne games having an easy mode, and I think over time I've come to like the side of like not wanting it, but like understanding and appreciating why it doesn't. I think it would be cool if it did have one for, for accessibility reasons. Obviously, maybe an accessibility mode. But I understand why it's something they don't do, right? Like, they make their games like this for a reason. They make them a certain way because I think for people that are really into these games, you end up having an appreciation for the difficulty of it and for getting knocked down and getting up and getting better and discovering parts of the game because you've pushed through these barriers, and which at the same time is kind of like, well, other people want to experience that. Maybe looking at games like The Last of Us Part 2 and all the different things they did with accessibility, maybe they could look at that option and not just do an easy mode, but maybe just have different accessibility, customization.
Right.
I mean, I get this is a remake, so I get why they didn't do it for Demon Souls. Maybe with like future Soulsborne's titles, it's something they could consider.
I wouldn't want an easy mode, and you could hear the air quotes I used.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want an easy mode in terms of, well, now there's fewer enemies in that room, or now you just have a bunch of health. Like, I would like it to be a smarter option, and I wouldn't want it to be, again, I wouldn't want it to be an easy mode. I would want it almost to be like a guided mode, or a, there's a bunch of different options, because I've thought a lot about this.
Yeah.
There's the option of, hey, I want to play this game with another person, and it just, the whole time you're playing it, it summons in someone to help you. Like, it just has another player from around the world, whatever, coming in and playing with you.
Which you can almost do that.
Which you can almost do, but I would say, like, you make this mode give me someone to play with all the time.
Yeah.
And it just pulls someone at random, and people in the Souls community would gladly help that. Like, we love playing co-op. So like there's no shortage of players to help you with that. And you could even have it be an AI person if there's no one there, if you want to play offline. And having a partner that's an AI that just kind of follows you around and helps out, you're going to get that same experience. You're going to have the pit of bombs you fall into, or the enemy that comes out of the corner you didn't see. Like that's all still going to happen to you. But you're going to have help, and you're going to have someone there like doing spells and shit. You're like, oh, I can do that. Okay, cool. And you're going to learn from it. Don't change the balance of the game at all. Just add that kind of helper. I would be okay with that.
Yeah.
I would also be okay with, and I guess the PS5 kind of does that with the game help, but I haven't looked into what the game help is for Demon Souls. I know there are a bunch of stuff, but integrated into the game, you could have little warnings, like signs on the ground, like this is a trap room. Yeah. And so you know before you go in it, like, okay, something's going to happen.
There is no floor 5 feet ahead.
There is no floor, like watch out for shadows. Yeah. Little things like that along the way would really help. But at the end of the day, honestly, these games aren't that hard. Like I said, you can summon people in, and that makes it so much easier. You just need to play it more slowly. It's not like, especially Demon Souls. Like, I understand Sekiro is like very fast, but the Souls games are not. It's just like block when you need to block, back away when you need to back away. It's about playing less aggressively as you would in a normal action game, and that's all it is. And I don't think there's a problem with having a really hard game. I understand, like, more people want to play this, like, but no one's forcing you to play it. No one's making you play it. And I feel like it's really strange it would be like going to a Chinese restaurant and asking for a pizza. It's like, but that's not why you're there. Like, I come to this Souls game to play a hard game. I come to the Souls games to play a Souls game. And as soon as you have people that are like, oh yeah, I beat Demon Souls. Oh, did you? What'd you think of this? Oh, I played it on easy, so it was super easy. It's like,
yeah.
And every time I bring this up, if you take the difficulty out of these games, they are mediocre third-person action games. The whole point is the difficulty.
I think it loses a lot. Like, honestly, like playing Nioh 2 again and getting through a boss fight, there's this huge feeling of just like accomplishment that I get out of it, and an adrenaline rush of escaping death that I don't get if that game is on easy mode and I beat him with like 5 or 6 hits. And,
right, or the first try, or whatever.
Or the first try. Like, it was my 7th attempt, and I barely beat him. I had a bee's dick of health left, and I barely took him down. And I felt in like this adrenaline rush, this accomplishment. Like, I was almost like in tears with how good it felt to kill this fucker. Like, it was so good. And I don't get that in any other game experience ever.
Exactly.
Unless it's those type. And I felt the same way through Bloodborne. I felt the same way when I did, beat a boss in Demon Souls or Dark Souls, like any of those games. And it's just rare that you find that. Like, and I get those in games like when I would beat a boss like in Hades, like when I did finally beat Hades in that game, or when I was playing Hollow Knight and games like that, like games that do have really challenging bosses that aren't easy. When you do come across that and it does take you those, like, I don't look for the easy mode on those when I do run into those, even though they do have that option. But it's just so different with a game like Demon Souls and like Bloodborne and those games, where you do, like, the whole point of these games is to get better and to take down, the enemy and the boss and to get better. Like, that's what these games are about. They're challenging for a reason. And the challenge is learning to be patient, learning your enemy, and like just learning the world and how it works. And that's the whole point of these games. And I think that's why people are so drawn to them. And
have you ever played Scrabble Junior? Because I played it with my young cousins once.
I don't think I ever have.
And it is infuriating. Because it's like, I know what words I want to do. Why are there words on the board? Well, they're just kind of suggestions. Oh no, you're supposed to fill them out. But then this does this. And I'm like, just fucking play Scrabble. God damn it. Like, that's how I feel about this. If you're going to start diluting it, at a certain point, you lose what it is. And that is the difficulty. And it's, again, not hard. It is not hard. There are so many harder games. You bring up Hades. Hades is a difficult game. And Hades has many of the same tenets that Souls games do. And people just don't care. When it comes to Souls, they want it to be that. And you look at Jedi Fallen Order, that is Sekiro combat if it was terrible. We already know what that combat looks like if you put difficulty modes into it. It does not make it better. It makes it worse.
And significantly that game was too worse. Easy.
Yeah,
even on the hard difficulty, it was too easy.
I played it on hard.
Yeah,
it was like yawn fest over here.
Wasn't fun,
but it was good. Like, it's enjoyable, but that wasn't the game. Like, the game was about the story and exploring these worlds and all this stuff. The Souls games are about that sense of dread of being stuck in this landscape you cannot escape. It's about the atmosphere, and if you take that away, there's no atmosphere. It's just a shitty third-person action game.
Yeah,
that's all it is. Don't get rid of the difficulty.
I think like the most I could see them possibly adding is like you don't lose your souls, or you only lose a percentage or something like that. But like,
I could see them doing it where, like, because you die and it puts the blood stain on the ground. I could see them keeping all the blood stains. So, like, you can die however many times, but you can always get back there and get them back. I'd be fine with that, because then people would feel like, well, I died again, but I didn't lose anything. I can get it. I can still get it. Okay, cool. It gives them that goal. That's totally fine. I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
And I made a whole video about Sekiro in this a year and a half ago, outlining 3 ways to make it easier that would not dilute the game. Because there are many ways to do it that still end up with the player finishing the game, the same game. It's just onboarding. That's the problem the Souls games have, has been this onboarding and getting someone to the point where they understand how to play it. It just feels very daunting. It's like playing Divinity, where you're just like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah,
like it's if you've never played something like that, it's just overwhelming, and you're like, this is too hard.
Yeah,
it's not too hard. It's just complicated.
Yeah.
Cool. That.
I think I lost you, Ben.
No, I'm here. The connection was for a second. Oh, what's going on?
Are you downloading MP3s on LimeWire?
No, again? I'm the voice connected, and it's just like green, red.
Oh, mine's green. I think I'm good.
Let me disconnect and come back in real quick.
Okay. All right. In the meantime,
there, I'm back. I don't know if that's better.
Okay, well, he's back. All right. All right, Ben.
How long was I supposed to be gone?
I don't know.
You second.
Thank you, Gaming Morning Show, for the host.
Yay! After the spirited debate on easy mode.
Yeah, exactly. I think we should move on to games that we played. Ben.
Fine.
I think we had a good enough debate about Demon Souls, but now I want to hear about games that are eating your soul right now.
Mm-hmm.
So what's eating your soul?
Okay. I do want to mention Mario Galaxy really quick. I think I have 3 stars left.
Oh, wow.
Out of all the stars. Still really love Mario Galaxy. Oh my gosh, so good. Really enjoying it. But I'll probably talk about that on a show where we didn't get to this part of the show an hour in. Or next week when I finish it.
Okay.
I have played, I think, 25 hours of Valhalla. Something like that.
Dang.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I still love it. I think it's incredible. I talked earlier about how it's stunningly beautiful. I love the progression of building out my town. I even like the skill tree where it's this cloudy constellation thing, and you can't really see what's ahead. And a lot of people have criticized that, and I understand why. But you get so many skill points that it almost feels like, well, let's go over here on the part of the map. I'm like, oh, okay, that's the skill. All right. And then you can undo it, and there's no penalty. So you can explore and fiddle around. And I kind of like the progression idea of, well, there's something over here. What is it? And you kind of like pull at the string, and see what's over there. And maybe that's what you want, maybe it isn't. And then the next time you pull at another string. And I like that meandering nature of it, especially in a game that I'm going to be level 250 or some nonsense by the end of it. And that's like, it's going to be full. Like this constellation map is going to be full. There's no, you can complain about it all you want in the first 20 hours, but at hour 60, hour 80, the whole thing's going to be filled. So just shut up. You're going to have everything. Just relax. Just relax. Enjoy the kind of go with the flow of it. That's how I feel about it. That change is good, I think. The change of the equipment is excellent, where I'm not finding a new piece of garbage every 5 minutes. I do kind of wish it would tell me like, hey, you're not going to get anything better than this or anything like that. Like I'm hesitant to upgrade my weapon because I don't know if I'll find another one I like. And I might just upgrade it anyway and just, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah.
At a certain point. But I've loved exploring the world. It reminds me of Red Dead 2, and it reminds me of Breath of the Wild in that same way. Like I found this, there was an assassin's hideout, and like I could see it on my map. Like I could see the treasure chest somewhere around, but I couldn't figure out how to get there. And I was in the vicinity, and there's the assassin symbol on the ground, and it's pointing in a direction, and I go, okay. So then I follow it, and it leads to this cave. That was a cool little natural thing that didn't pop up on the HUD and say, find the clue to enter the base. And everything about the game is like that. Okay. All the little side quests, it doesn't tell you, like, go open the door, and like, here's your goal, 5 meters away, give the key to the man. Like, it doesn't do that for so much of it. It just lets you find it out. Oh, this guy, he gave you the key to his house. Like, where's his house? Well, he told you his house is in the city by the tree. I'm like, okay, I can figure that out. And I go to the town, and like, there's the big tree. Okay, cool. So it's probably one of these houses, and I find it, and I get the stuff, and I solve the quest in a way that feels like I'm using my brain, even so slightly, to find a freaking house. It's not that hard. But every single quest is like that, or at least all the side quests, right? Where you just like get to a place and you have to figure it out, and it's some light puzzle, and you feel smart, you feel cool doing it, and it's so much fun. There was this one where I needed to find a password to get into the door. He wouldn't let me in unless I had the password, and I looked around. I was like, oh, I think I can get up there, and then I go there, and there's a note that has the password on it. Like, okay, cool way to figure that out. I enjoy it so much, just going through the world and killing all these people, and raids are so much fun. Burning all these villages down. So many quests are just like, well, they didn't agree to our terms, so burn down their village. Okay. All right.
So how does the settlement part of the game, how does that play into what you're doing throughout the game? Like, is it pretty like heavily integrated into your story, or is it kind of just something you check on throughout the game?
Wow, it's kind of both. I mean, it is the main idea of the story where you're settling in, setting up a base, and gaining allies for your settlement, I guess.
Yeah.
But I've really only gone back there by maybe like twice.
Okay.
And that's not because I'm not interested in it. It's more that I enjoy exploring the world and doing all that stuff. Like I completed already one of the areas, or I couldn't beat the one boss. Every once in a while, I'll put like a crazy enemy in there. I'm like, I can't fight you. That's no. It has like the red skull next to their name. I'm like, nope, run away. Could they kill you in 2 hits or something? But I've been exploring so much and not going back to the town. The town is build the stable, build the hunting lodge, build the assassin's bureau, and I like that. I like getting the materials for it, going back and setting it up, and it gives you buffs and other boosts in other ways. There's it, but I haven't dealt with it that much, even in 25 hours. There's this one. It's like build this, and it gives your feast bonus up, and then it like plus 25 to your health. I'm like, is that for my permanent health? I don't know. I haven't upgraded it yet because I've been getting like the hunting lodge, so I can do stuff like that. But I do like the idea of it. It's not like Nioh Kuni 2 or something.
Oh man.
Which was really it's it's close to that, I guess.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think you spend so much time away from it that it doesn't feel essential. So if you don't want to do that, I really don't see how. To as of yet, it has not been part of the main quest to be like, hey, you need to be settlement level 3, and then you get more quests. It's just like a thing you can do. So if you don't care, you just don't care about it, and then move on. But yeah, I've loved the game. I think about playing it a lot. So excited to just wander around on my weird little horse, and find more garbage to explore. It's such a fun, like, okay, that's where the main quest is. I'm gonna do everything along the way, and that's how you should play it. And it's been a ton of fun. I'm way over leveled because I've been exploring way too much. At one point, I had 9 skill points to spend.
Oh my god.
Because I just like, oh, I'll get to that in a minute. Oh, I'm about to finish this quest, and then I upgraded my town, and then I did this. It's like, all right, I got 9 of these to spend. I need to start spending these things. But when the suggested level is 20 and you're like 55, I don't really need to upgrade. Like, I'm using a short sword knife thing, and everyone's dying in 3 hits basically. So I'm like, I don't need to upgrade this. I could. I have so many materials, but I don't want it to be too easy. So that is a potential issue where if you explore too much, which feels like what you should be doing in a game like this, the combat's pretty easy. You'll run into bossy kind of enemies that you have to pay attention and dodge and do all that, but the basic fodder, they're fodder. There's nothing special about them, but it's fun. And lopping off their arms, like there's this one kill move where you hit them with your axe like twice on one side of their head, like on their neck. It's like stab, stab, or whack, whack, right? Like a tree. And then Eivor just punches their head with her other arm the other way and punches their head off their body.
Oh, shit.
It's like, Jesus Christ, lady. Fucking brutal. I love it. And there's just arms, and I'm pretty sure I've stabbed off a person's head. Like, it's just crazy.
Damn.
There's limbs flying, everything's on fire. It's chaos. I love it. So cool.
Nice. All right.
Yeah, I can't recommend Valhalla enough. I do think it is, I would say, top 3 game of the year for me.
All right.
Up there. Maybe top 5
Big year,
for sure.
too. Big year.
Big year, too. Now, this game is so much fun to play. Yeah, it reminds me of years past when I get like addicted to Fallout 3 or something, and it was all I wanted to play. Yeah. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
And I think it's the best Assassin's Creed game to me. If you're looking for an open, obviously people are like, I like the old ones, but if you want a newer RPG, Witcher, Red Dead 2 kind of, even Breath of the Wild, like I think it does so many things where it doesn't litter the play space or the map with icons and things to where it feels manageable in such a way. It's like, I will get that because it's not 5,000 things. I'm not being hunted, and it's almost like peaceful in a way where you can just roam the countryside. And when a random person does want to fight with me, who the fuck cares? I'll just stab them in the face 2 times and they're dead. Like, it's not a big deal. It's not like Far Cry 2 where that was like a hellscape.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, but I loved it, and I will be playing it forever. Probably.
Maybe.
Oh, I didn't even mention the story's great.
And the story's good.
That was the thing I forgot about. All the story stuff's so good. The one, the first, because you're making contracts with nearby whatever, and so I pick one to go after, and I help them out, and there's this kind of like, one of my 3 people betrayed me, and you have to kind of figure out who did it. And if you find all the clues, it's really easy to figure out who did it. But it gives you like red herrings, and it doesn't even tell me. Like, I'm pretty sure I picked the right person. Like, I'm really confident, but at the same time, it never popped up and said, you did it right. And I feel like I could have picked someone else. I don't know what happens.
Yeah.
Could I kill an innocent man? Like, that's kind of cool, I think. And then one of the people at the end of that joined my crew. I haven't seen them. I don't know where they are, but that's the thing. I've been playing so much of this game very slowly. There was someone talking about it, like, yeah, you go to Asgard. I'm like, you do? It's really early. I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm exploring England like an idiot for hours.
Man.
So good.
Yeah, I mean, you totally sold me on the game. I talked to actually the channel that hosted us earlier, Gaming Morning Show. They host kind of like a live morning radio show, but it's gaming and it's on like Twitch and Facebook and um, YouTube, and it they do like the radio station stuff, like so they'll be playing games, talking about like news stuff, and then they do like the cut, like it's 10 to the hour, and they'll do like their intro and stuff like that, which is pretty cool.
Did they do the weathers on the sevens or something?
Dude, they just about they
Cool.
gave us a shout out not too long ago on Twitter about how like one of the hosts he was gonna go on a walk, and one of the podcasts he listens to is Final Checkpoint, and
That's a mistake,
in
but
Full
okay.
Circle. Yeah, I was like, oh man, poor guy.
Poor man.
His poor man. And Full Circle podcast, also from the Game Fanatics. But yeah, so I checked out one of their shows, and I was in the chat, and they were asking about I forgot what they asked, but I mentioned that you had totally sold me on Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and how it, like mainly like Assassin's Creed was one of those games that I check out and I like, but it's just too overwhelming. But this one just sounds like, even though it might be bigger than like I want it to be, it's still worth checking out because of just how good it is.
Right.
So
it breaks it into very smart chunks, which I think Odyssey didn't do very well at all.
Yeah.
Where it just gave you that. I guess that's my example from earlier, where I was trying to think about a game that didn't on-ramp you very well, with like Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
Odyssey, it has that starting island, and then it lets you loose, and it is like, what do you want from me? Yeah. Oh, that's level 50 and I'm level 2, and how do I level up? Like, there was so much level scaling nonsense and bullshit in that game, and obviously there was that XP boost fiasco, which I think was also a problem with Origins too, but it was more of a problem with Odyssey, I remember. Because there was that point in the game where it was like, hey, you're not that high enough level. Actually, that did happen in Origins.
The level gating also, stuff, yeah.
But this, I haven't seen anything like that in this, and there's no XP boosts. There's no nothing. I'm getting skills or skill points from leveling up. It feels like I said, fucking constantly. Just like going and doing the activities gives you more than enough. Doing the combat gives you nothing. So I like that. It gives you some points, but it's about the quest, and every single of these little side quests is fun and quick. It's not like a 2-hour side quest that like really could have been 20 minutes. These are 5 minutes, some of them shorter. And if you've listened to any podcast talk about it, they bring up a bunch of them, and they're all really cool and fun. I think some of them are like whatever, but a lot of them are super interesting. Like there's these guys that were practicing a raid. They wanted to practice a raid on their house, and then they set their house on fire, and they're like, oh no, our mother's axe is in that house. You got to get in. So I break into their house, and I look all around for it. And it's like, it's not in here. Like, oh, we found it out here. It's like, okay, I'm done with you idiots. She calls them dull and duller, and it's so good.
Oh God, that's awesome.
Like, I'm done with you guys. And that's the whole quest. I'm like, this is cool. It's just a fun, it just builds the world, and it doesn't feel packed with shit. I love this game. It's so much fun.
Nice.
So much fun. I've been trying to think of like what was the last game I played that I felt this, like, I guess addicted to in the same way, and it might have been Red Dead 2. Or Death Stranding. Death Stranding was it. Yeah, that's it. And I loved Death Stranding.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Love the game. Yay, games.
Yay, games. Video games.
All right, what are you playing? I see Animal Crossing on here, and I want to know about Animal Crossing.
I've been kind of like just kind of like picking at games. I hate video games, actually. Video games suck right now. None of them are good. They all suck. They're the worst things I've ever seen in my life, and I want to retire from video games.
That's fun. I'll join you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, thanks.
I caught you.
Oh man, I'm a fake gamer.
No. Animal Crossing. So the winter update came out on the 19th. Which was just kind of, they just added a few more things. They've got an upcoming Thanksgiving event where I think you can have like a Thanksgiving meal in the plaza, which is pretty cool. They added a few more recipes to the fall stuff. So I made like this giant mushroom looking tree thing. I made a couple of those. And really what I've been doing is kind of overhauling my town. I got rid of a whole 3rd level area. I started kind of getting rid of where my trees are because they were just kind of everywhere. And now I've made more of like a structured orchard kind of a thing where they're like kind of rows of trees each type.
Organization.
Yeah, it's definitely a little more organized there. It's just now I have all this space. I'm not too sure what to do with it, so I'm kind of like trying to drum up some ideas. So I streamed some Animal Crossing the other night, and I was just kind of kicking around some ideas, and I was thinking like, man, maybe I just need to like visit people's towns. And so like I want to do that. I think you can do it through the Dream World. And so I want to get together like a few codes and see if it works that way. And I could just like stream myself like going to people's towns and trying to get some ideas of what I want to do.
Well, you can do right. You can do random. Like just go to a random dream.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that. That'd be pretty interesting. Because I'm just like, the problem is I have all these ideas for like the neighbors' yards and what to do with them because I have all these neighbors. But what do I do with this giant open ass space that I've opened up, getting rid of all these trees?
Oh.
Yeah, but I think the fall update has some of my favorite recipes, just the way they look with all the mushrooms and acorns and shit like that.
Are they easy to get?
The mushrooms, yes. Acorns, I don't know where you get acorns from. That's the only
you shake the tree, shake the pine trees.
Okay.
I'm guessing.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to figure that out. I haven't even looked it up, but I did catch. I went. You know when you go swimming in the water and you dive down to catch a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
I did a lot of that because I haven't really done much of that, and I was able to kind of get my Critterpedia thing updated. I have a lot more of those filled in. Fishing, I didn't really catch anything new, but I just been enjoying playing it. I play it throughout the day at work and just kind of have fun sitting there playing something that isn't waiting for me to like, or isn't reliant on me doing much.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little bit relaxing. To expand your storage for your house, it's like 500,000 bells up front. So I'm back.
What?
Yeah, so you can expand. You can double your storage in your house.
I didn't know you had to pay for it. I thought you had to pay for it with Nook points or something.
No, it's with bells.
Damn it!
Right? Yeah, I think it's with bells.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's with bells. I could easily do it by like buying a ton of bell tickets and just cashing them in, but
that takes like 4.5 hours.
It takes so long that I think I'm just gonna do the turnips again. I got like 200,000 in one day just doing it, and I'm like, but I missed it today. I just forgot. So.
Oh, that's right. Dang it.
I'll have to wait another week, but I think there's still a lot that the game could do. That's the sad thing is like once I'm done doing my daily stuff and kind of I hit that point where I'm like, I don't know what to do next really, because I'm still waiting to figure out what I want to do with this town. I'm still missing a few recipes. I wish there was a better way to grind for recipes.
Or to check which ones are missing in the game.
Check which ones I'm missing. I know IGN has a really great wiki for it. I know GameSpot has one too.
That sucks.
That's just extra work I don't want to do. Why don't they build it into the game?
And that's no offense to them. They did a great job. It's Nintendo. Like this should be in your game.
Yeah. And there should be just different ways to explore, like going to an island, or instead of it just going to islands, it should be like you go to different towns and there's ways to get recipes there. Just, I don't know, different things.
Something. Give me something.
Give me something more to do. Because at this point, I've reinstalled Stardew Valley and I'm almost hitting the play button. Okay? I'm getting there. But
do it. Don't do it.
But yeah. I got rid of one of the neighbors that I found really annoying, and then another weird looking one moved in, and I'm like, God, can I please find a way to get rid of these neighbors out of here? Anyways, yeah, that's I like all these other games I have on my list. I really just started playing again. Nioh 2, I played again and started like I want to respec my character and really do change up like a few of the talisman.
You can respec.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I've been messing around. I just wanted to get the flow of the combat again.
Yeah.
And I did that. I was able to beat like 2 of the missions, and so now I'm just like I think I'm ready to like start kind of getting into it again because I've just been enjoying the hell out of it.
Mm-hmm. And
Fortnite I've been playing on the Switch. I play very few matches, but I I've probably played a total of 6 matches, and I've gotten 3 wins in a squad. So, and I'm at least averaging like 5 or 6 kills per game. So I feel, and I know it's cross-platform, but I feel like somehow they dumb it down for the Switch players, because there's no way I'm getting kills this easily against people playing on PC or PS4 or Xbox.
So it might prioritize Switch players for Switch players.
They've got to be, yeah, something's going on. But it feels pretty good getting those kills.
Wow.
And then Apex Legends is something I just kind of nitpick at and just like play, and then I'm like, I don't know if it's playing that well. I don't like this and this about it. I don't know. But yeah, that's my list. Other than that, I've just been consuming a lot of content because I'm either just not in the mood to play anything, or like I'm just having such a hard time finding a game that's like grabbing me really.
Right.
So I've consumed a lot of like gaming content. I've been watching The Completionist. I've been catching up on his videos. He recently did Control, the complete edition. He recently did Batman Arkham Knight.
Okay.
Videos are great. I would go check them out. Gaming Morning Show. They're at Watch GMS. They are 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific time. I would just want to give them a shout out. Go check them out. Seem like nice guys. I've been watching some Destiny content. They just did the race for World's First on the raid this past weekend, and that was pretty cool to kind of watch here and there. That raid seems incredible. I think the latest expansion is pretty cool. They released an update to kind of turn down the stasis time for multiplayer because people hated how long you would stay frozen. And so because that was just like awful.
Right.
So just kind of and just watching a lot of Among Us on Twitch, and that's really, I think I did a lot more watching of games than I did actual playing of games this week. But yeah, any other games you want to talk
about? Just Yakuza, real quick. Yeah. Which is amazing. I think I played like 10 hours of it, maybe a little more. Yeah, super good. Love the story, love the characters. I like the combat a lot. It does have weird things with it where if there's like a bike in front of you and the enemy, you'll run over and kick the bike at them, which is cool, right? Or you can grab like items, like a wine bottle next to them and hit them with it. But that just kind of dynamically happens. So it can be difficult to get that extra damage when you want it. And there's also this one character that has like a fiery breath attack, which sprays fire in an area. And you can set it up to where you can hit multiple enemies with it, but the enemies are always moving around. So you almost have to time it. And then sometimes they'll just move far away from each other. And it's like, well, I want to hit multiple people with this fire attack, but none of them are close. So that I feel like is a really strange choice. I don't really like that, but it's kind of fun to figure out like, okay, they're bunched up. Use the fire. No, go. Like I got 2 of them. I got 3 of them. Oh my gosh. That's cool. But yeah, I wish I was only playing one of these games so I could really dive into Yakuza. At this point, it's just all Valhalla, and then like every other day I'll come into Yakuza for a little bit and like I gotta play this.
Palate cleanser.
Yeah, but I love it. Love the story. Love everything about it. It's great. I think the Yakuza games should have been a JRPG this entire time.
Yeah,
I will say that every week. There's no reason to have that shitty brawler combat that I hate. This fits perfectly, and I enjoy it so much, and the story is so good and so well presented. They just don't get enough credit for that. Like they get credit for, it has a good story, but it's presented extremely well. Like it's not like just text boxes and shit all the time. Like they really, they go for it, and I think they nail it the vast majority of the time. And the side quests are really funny. There's this one was like, there's some guy peeing in the river. You gotta find him.
Oh my god.
And then I found him, and it was like 4 dudes, on the side of the river, and it like, okay, which one looks like they're peeing? Like you just see their backs. Like, which one is it? Is this one the one that's peeing, or is it that one? God, this game's so dumb. Sometimes it's so fun with its sense of humor, and then it's super serious. They balance that so well. But yeah, highly recommend Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Like a dragon, just like Cisco, like a dragon.
Uh-huh. Exactly. So similar.
Yeah. Cool. Any other games?
No, I don't think so. No.
All right. So I'm gonna commit to Doom Eternal. I'm gonna get the download going tonight, and I will
Just
play
a
it
little
this
bit.
week. So I can talk about that next week. Let you know what I think. And yeah, I can't think of anything else that I have really on my list of what I'm gonna play, but I guess we'll see how the week goes, because a lot of the games on my list that I generally had, I didn't expect to play. Like, I didn't really expect to play Fortnite at all, and that just kind of happened midweek when I kind of had nothing to play or do on Animal Crossing. So yeah, but I was so one of my coworkers at my current job, she is married to one of the guys I used to work with at the video game store I worked at, and I used to play WoW with them all the time. And we were talking the other day, and I was telling her, I'm like, man, I miss playing World of Warcraft, because before Destiny, that was like the last time I played an MMO. So like, I was so invested in an MMO, really. Besides, like, I like Final Fantasy 14, but I don't think I was as invested where I was like doing raids, and I was grouped up in a voice chat, and like, every night I'd sign on and like play addictively, and it's weird to kind of miss that, because it's not great to do, because you're just like every night you're signing on and kind of playing and doing that, and those tendencies. But I kind of miss that, and seeing everybody kind of get hyped for Shadowlands that comes out tomorrow, which is the World of Warcraft. I'm not gonna do it because I'm like way too far behind, and I've got like all my money right now is going towards like Christmas presents for my kids. So, but man, am I so like jealous of those people that are caught up on gearing up and getting ready for the expansion. And not only that, one of my other coworkers is taking this whole week off to play. And I'm just like, you lucky bastard.
That's
so
crazy.
Jealous. Yeah. But I think that's one thing. That's why I think I have a lot of like fun watching those Among Us streams throughout the day. Because it's a group of people in a voice chat playing a game. And I think that like, I miss that. I don't have that at all. Like, this is probably the most social interaction that I think I have with other people, other than like my wife. So I think it's so cool to see that. And I kind of miss, I want to get into a game that I can do that, with, and I just like, but I don't want to get into an MMO again, and because I just don't have the time for it. So and Destiny was kind of like, oh, Destiny is not as hardcore. And so I was thinking about that, but then I was like, no, I was so miserable with Destiny. So I'm just like, maybe I'll just not do that. That's why like I was trying to get, a Game Fanatics Among Us group together, because I think it would be cool to get a group of people and just do like a couple Among Us games for content. And then if they want to continue playing, we could do that. If not, it would just be fun to do it once or twice and like get a couple games out of it, and then boom, be done. So if we do that, you got to be in there.
I'll do it. I never played it, but I've watched it.
Exactly.
So I'll do it.
You got to represent Final Checkpoint. So yeah. Anyways, Ben, speaking of your Sekiro video about difficulty, what is your YouTube channel?
Oh man, speaking of that, I need to see if that URL still works. But it should just be youtube.com/BenReacts goes to it.
Perfect. Well, guys, that's going to be it for us this week. I want to say, first of all, happy Thanksgiving to everybody that's going to be celebrating Thanksgiving. And of course, we are thankful for all of our listeners, all of our subscribers. We would be extra thankful if you shared this podcast with anybody that you think would enjoy it, and help get the word out of Final Checkpoint, the lovely podcast that we get out every week just for us and for you guys. you can reach out to us over at with an oval at finalcheckpointpod@gmail.com. You can also tweet at us at the Joelness, at Ben Runnings. You can also find us over at thegamefanatics.com. We stream every Sunday, twitch.tv/loadlastcheckpoint, 8 p.m. Pacific time. This podcast, the recording of this lovely podcast. You can be here early for some pre-game or pre-show fun shenanigans. You can catch me streaming on here throughout the week every now and then. You can catch Ben on Ben's channel and watch his old VODs. He wears hats on some of those every now and then.
I used to wear a lot of hats. You know, I do have a secret plan in the works to start streaming, but that plan does hinge on the PS5.
And it's also secret, so I'm going to have to cut it out of this.
Oh, yeah. No, the secret... it's not a secret to say something's a secret.
Is it not?
No. Okay. You could say there's a secret. The secret is the secret part, not that there is a secret.
Okay. All right.
Weirdo.
All right. Well, that's our 64th episode. Everybody have a good Thanksgiving. We'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.
Merry Christmas.
No, not yet.
Dang.